Paul, top 6 nearly there. How are you feeling about what you've achieved so far?
Yeah, we're not there. That's the big thing. But if you look at what we have done, we've had some real positive results and put ourselves in the thick of it now with the teams who were a long way in front of us. So we're not there yet, but the season has changed round a little bit, because hopefully now all the teams we are playing between now and the end of the season will be the ones above us. But we have 2 big games first to seal that and make sure we are in the top 6, and depending on results in the next 2 games, then we'll see where we are come the running.
How impressed have you been with the players' character and their mental strength that they've shown to get to this position?
Yeah, it's been a big part of it. We've had to win games and play in lots of games where it's required lots of different things. We've had games, Motherwell at home, where we were good with the ball and sort of got control of the game and never gave it up. We've had games like Friday night at Livingston where they were really stifling us and causing us a real problem, and we had to just up the tempo in the game to get a result. We've had games like Rangers at home where they threw everything at us, and some real top draw defending kept us in the game until the second half when we made the better chances. So that's a pleasing thing. Whatever's been thrown at the players so far, we've responded, and while ever that continues, you can accept results, whether they're positive or negative. If you're trying to do the right things and giving everything to get the result, then that's all we can do.
And for you as well, I suppose, when you come into a new team, to be able to hit the ground running like this and keep it going is a big thing as well.
Yeah, so nothing's changed from the first day I sat here. If you remember, it was in the short term we want to get top 6, and that's not changed. We do that. That's our sole focus. But depending how we do it and the run we've had to go on to get there, it could mean that things change. But we're not there yet, so that is our top goal. We want to make sure we get that.
So you've not started looking above yet?
We were always looking above, because we were just chasing the team in front. That's been his thing. We were 8th and quite a few points behind. We quickly got where we were chasing the top 6, and we still are chasing that. But we're chasing the team in front of us, because if we catch them, then we'll make top 6.
You said you've seen all the facets of your players since you've came here. What's been the most impressive attribute of all that?
Their honesty. The fact that what you see is what you get, and if you're asked to do something, they'll give everything to try and do it. And like I say, you can accept everything then. So there's been a real honesty amongst all the players, the group, and just to leave everything out there on the pitch. If someone beats us, they're going to have to, work extremely hard, have the rub of the green, however you want to put it, if we continue being like this. But and there is a way to lose, and if we lose by leaving everything out there on the pitch, fair enough.
And that honesty, is that something you called for when you came here, or was that inherent in the squad?
Called for, but I think it was there, if I'm honest. In the process leading up to taking the job, we had the opportunity to watch a hell of a lot of games, and that was a standout quality. Coming away from any games I watched, Robbie watched, we could work with this lot. It was that type of... it was evident to us on the pitch from watching it through the screen that there was that there, and so we tried to harness that and make a big deal of it, and it is that's the most important quality. Has
the squad bought into that quicker than previous clubs you've been at?
Possibly, yeah. I want it to be hallmark anyway. Wherever you were, even if you weren't in sport, if you're in a business, if you're your own organisation, whatever it was, you'd want that quality, surely. So it's just something that is really important to me, to us, and the boys can see the results from it. But your questions are always loaded by like the results. So we're thinking, have they bought into it? They might have bought into it exactly the same. Results could have been different, and you'd think they'd not. So the results are what we're trying to achieve, and that is the most important. But the process wouldn't have been any different if we'd have been, mixed bag of results, losing games. We'd have still been looking for the same things.
Fair say that Kilmarnock could be an inspiration, or is an inspiration to a club like Hibs. Is that something you go along with? Yeah, they've been, the start of the season in particular, were fantastic, and I think everyone started to pay them the respect they deserved, and then they maybe had a little dip because they were treated as one of the big sides. Steve's tweaked things a little bit. A couple of players coming in obviously January, and made a couple of changes to the 11, and they seem to have that real intensity back to the game again. So we're playing them at a time where they're in top form, so it's going to be a good game.
I remember on your first day here that I asked you about what the key was to finding consistency, and you basically said you don't know, because that's the $1 million question. You seem to have found it, still unbeaten in the league. What's the secret?
Yeah, don't know. We'll keep it going. No, what we've asked for is tried to keep it consistent for the players, what's expected of them, what's expected of each individual role, and then reinforce that by the feedback we give them. So if there's things we don't like, we need to pull it up. If there's things we do like, we need more of the same, and that's been it. But as I say, you have to get the buy-in from the players, as we've been speaking about, and results does help. And from the outside, results will think, oh yeah, everyone's doing this, everyone's doing that right, but we want even more. You know, we've won games in lots of different ways, and at the drop of a hat, the ideal team would be able to just do that, you know, without even having to make changes in the game, just be able to respond. And we know we'll never get there, but that's what we want. We want to keep pushing for that.
You said you were quite frustrated at the time watching the Livingston game. Do you still feel that there's more that this team can show?
Yeah. In terms of results, it can't get much better. So I understand that, but we want to control every part of the game. Which, as I say, I know it's not going to happen. I'm not foolish enough to think that, but you have to try and do that. You have to know what's required in each situation. So we'll continue to do that, because I think if you're trying to do that and continue trying to improve, you'll pick up more points than you were doing previous. And if it's those 4 or 5 extra points you get in a season, then they're the ones that will make all the difference.
You also said when you first came in that you were wary of giving the players too much information too soon. Are you still holding back a little bit of information and maybe preparing for next season? Or
yeah, but it's been as I say, there's a lot of planning behind it. So we've given the players a hell of a lot of information since we've come in now. But in the stage where we're at now, if we'd have just tried to reel all that out in the first 6 days instead of 6 weeks, we'd have had problems. So bit by bit we've been dripping it in based on the opposition. And yeah, it's funny, we've done a session today where I think we've probably realised how far we have come in terms of what we want, where the things we're asking the players, they understand, they can give me answers to lots of different things, scenarios. But again, every other club's doing the same, so there'll be new challenges based on how well we do. There'll be new challenges again next season as well, so you always have to be ready.
I know you've had a few injuries as well, a few coming back as well. Are you in a position now where you know what your best 11 is?
Well, the best team's been from the boys who's been playing, that's it. Until the others get in the team, we won't be able to answer that. But what we do want is a position where, probably as you've seen on Friday night was a good example, we make 2 changes from players who've been performing well in training and in games, and nothing changed. The change in personnel helped with the team. We want that from all 18 that we've got, and that's what we're getting closer to. You know, we've got Marv Bartley back up to speed now. We've got boys coming back from injuries. You say we know they're not where we need them to be, but we'll continue working with them until they are.
Is Ryan Gould any closer to getting back on the bench or in the
No.
You spoke there about the sort of making the changes on Friday night, Slivka, and that coming on. How encouraging is it for you, the fact that you've been able to make those changes, not for the first time, you know, games maybe haven't been going the way we wanted to, you've made the changes and the players have embraced those changes and we went on to get a positive result? Yeah,
I don't know if it's the first game. I certainly said to the players early on that the 11 that finished the game is the most important. You know, we start the 11 start with an 11. But it's the 11 who finished that you've either made the subs to go on and win the game, or you've made subs to see a game out, and that is the most important. And you can only be confident doing that by the work on the training pitch and getting everyone up to speed. So regardless of the 11 put out, they know their jobs, but then the subs who come on know their role in changing a game, seeing a game out, keeping things tight, being creative, whatever it may be. And that's the pleasing thing. As I say, bit by bit we're getting more and more numbers who can affect the game.
Has Ryan had a setback in his recovery, or is it?
Yeah, he's not been trained. So we played him in the game. He trained after that game, but he's just not ready to be involved with us daily. We know it's the final bit of his rehab, and that's where we need to get him so he can train every day. We'll gradually build his minutes in the development games and with us, so that he's ready. And we know that when we're putting him out to do 90 for us, that he can do it.
A bit frustrating for both you and him, given games are running out, I suppose.
Yeah, obviously, there's nothing worse than when you're a player than being injured. You know, if a manager's not picking you, at least you can try and do something about it and convince him on the training ground. But when you're injured, you feel helpless, and it's the worst part of the job.
Any bumps and bruises from the last game?
Yeah, a few bumps and bruises, but we've had everyone who we expected out on the grass today, so touch wood, we're all right.
In terms of next season, have you started having chats with the recruitment team about what you're after or that, or are you just sort of solely concentrating on the games that that's
Those chats started the first day I came in the door, yeah.